As a driven dentist, you see the world differently. Where some see scarcity, you see abundance. When others want to give up, you keep going. You're building an amazing life of significance. That means you can't rely on ordinary advice from ordinary advisors to get to your goals. You want advice that's going to help maximize your net worth so you can take even better care of the people you love, the causes you care about, and make your dent in the universe. But the fact is, this advice remains hidden because relatively few professionals are well versed in them, and the extremely affluent don't care to let you know about them. Join us as we pull back the curtain to reveal the often hidden advice and strategies used by today's most successful individuals and families. Welcome to Dental Wealth Nation. Here's your host, Tim McNeely.
Hey, welcome everyone to the show. I am so excited to have you here today. And as a driven dental entrepreneur, you know that the lifeblood of your practice is your patients, but not just any patients. You want ideal patients. You don't want those grumpy patients. You don't want the patients who grind you over fees or question what you're doing. You want ideal patients, patients that you can serve well. And that's what today is all about. And by the time we finish today, you're going to know how to really leverage your online presence to attract your ideal patients. You're going to have the best practices for creating ideal video content to generate more traffic to your website. And you're going to gain insights into if this is actually working for you. But most importantly of all, you're going to feel empowered to put your trust in digital marketing so that you can attract those ideal patients to your practice. And when it comes to helping you create amazing video content and working through some of those best practices, I am so excited to have Steven here from Lasso. And I could tell you that Lasso is a digital marketing company that's partnered with Binco. They're partnered with Seattle Study Club, Dental Nachos, and many, many more. I could tell you that Steven has over 9 years of experience of helping doctors build amazing online presences and attracting those ideal patients. I could also tell you that he's personally worked with over 1,000 dental practices. But what I really want to share with you is that Steven has a passion for rescuing dentists from marketing that's not working. Steven, welcome to the show.
Tim, thank you so much for that amazing introduction.
Oh, hey, you're so welcome. And what an amazing topic to talk about, because right, you can have the best practice in the world, you can have the best technology in the world, you can have the best staff in the world, but what happens if you don't have any patients?
That's right. It's a great point. Essentially, you have a billboard in the desert at that point, right?
Exactly. And right, in marketing, it is an ever-changing space. And so, I'm married to a dentist. Her father-in-law, I remember they still talk about, doing yellow page ads. And we've moved way past that, haven't we?
Definitely have. I mean, it's really, it comes to a point where you think what more could be done to evolve the playing field in digital marketing, but it's ever evolving. You can see that now, especially with different tools being utilized in different technology sectors, such as AI is huge now, and now that's revolutionizing every facet of technology we use.
Yeah, no, and it's so exciting. And I love the theme for today, right? It's dental marketing in 2023. And so let's just start off, right? What should we be doing in 2023? How can we think about our marketing? Where do we start? Like how do we even think about these things today?
Definitely. So I'd say really, I mean, the whole concept of digital marketing hasn't evolved a ton. It's just that we have better resources to really tell what's working or not working. And we have enough data collected over the years to really know this is the ideal playbook to get this to be an efficient marketing campaign.
Okay, what do you mean by that? Like what kind of data have we collected? What do we know? What works? What doesn't?
Definitely. So with Lasso, we've been at it for the last 6 years. We are working with over 600 dental offices throughout the country. With that, what's evolved is the ability to really tie into a practice management software and track the exact return, or track really where the specific marketing campaign is working. So is the Facebook ads working at a high level? Are the Google ads? Are the Instagram ads? Is the SEO? Then how much are we really getting down to $1 in production from each of these campaigns to really determine, is this a worthwhile marketing strategy or not?
Okay, so tracking, right? That's a huge thing because I remember that's something they've always talked about. But right, you usually have to log into multiple platforms, multiple places. You have to get reports. You're telling me we can get this all tied into practice management software, so we actually know if our ad spend is generating a real ROI for us?
Yes. So with Lasso, what we're able to do is tie into the practice management software. With that, we can show you all the leads we're generating, which is a very basic measurement, meaning how many leads came from a specific source or how many requests came, right? But none of those really mean a lot because any company could give you those different data points. But what happens now is we tie into that practice management software to show you, hey, did this patient actually schedule into Dentrix from this campaign? One. Two, did they actually show up to that appointment? And three, how much production stemmed from that patient? So I'm able to show you any given month how much production stemmed from that whole month from any given marketing source down to the patient who came in, the service they came in for, then the amount of production, the amount of money they produce for your practice.
Wow. Now it may seem like a kind of obvious question, but I really want to dive into that because I like to joke all the time. Dentists, you're really good with numbers as long as it's 1 to 32. Anything beyond that, it gets a little fuzzy. But 1 to 32, you got nailed. And so Steven, why are those analytics so important? Like, why does it actually matter for a practice?
Yeah, it's a great point because traditionally, a lot of practices are they themselves could be doing this. They could have hired an agency to do this, but they're running multiple campaigns. Essentially, they're throwing spaghetti at the wall and hoping that it's going to stick, right? Because if you're not specifically sourcing which campaigns are working or not, then you could be spending thousands of dollars a month on, let's say, Facebook ads. But if you're not tracking that this new patient came from this specific marketing campaign versus the other, and then the quality of patient that was generated from that campaign, then really, you could be wasting a lot of money, or you could be spending that money on the campaign that's actually working to amplify your result.
Wow. Very, very powerful stuff. And so what are some of the campaigns? What are the things that are working today?
Definitely. So, I mean, to be candid, the ones that are working the best are the ones that have been working the best for a while. So definitely your best campaign is going to be search engine optimization, which is essentially Google's credit score for your website, determining how to rank your website. The way I kind of, the way I paint the picture of SEO is I compare it to your oral health, right? So if we're brushing our teeth 3 times a day and we're, flossing every day after each meal and we're using mouthwash, we're getting our routine prophies and cleanings, then we're typically going to have some pretty solid oral health, right? If we're not doing any of those things, we're going to be in a bad situation. It's very similar to SEO. If you're doing enough of the things Google's looking for, you're going to put yourself in a position to rank higher. It's just, you have to know, 1, what things are they looking for? 2, can you do those things with your bandwidth? If you're a dentist, you're probably not going to want to be sitting up all night correcting directories and writing blogs after a long day of, your work. Then 3, are you doing it the most efficiently?
Okay. And so, right, when it really comes to the website and the SEO, is that the starting point? Is that the equivalent of like kind of brushing our teeth, like just the website, or like where do we start? How do we figure out what platforms to get on? Is it Facebook or TikTok? Should I be like doing dances and stuff? Like how do you work those things out?
Yeah, it's a great question. So SEO, I say, is the traditional best, right? That's essentially the best for your long-term patient acquisition.
And
The other,
SEO stands for what again?
search engine optimization.
Okay. And that is what, how you get found on the different search engines, correct?
On Google, correct. So for my purposes, SEO for Google. Outside of that, you have Google Ads, which in terms if you're going to spend money towards an ad campaign, you could be doing Google Ads, Facebook ads, Instagram ads. I think you could even get on TikTok with ads now. But your best bang for your dollar in dentistry is going to be Google Ads. I've worked for multiple companies. I've seen multiple campaigns run. And it holds true to today that if you're going to invest dollar per dollar, Google Ads for an ad campaign is going to see the best return for your dentist.
Okay, so that's doing better than the Facebooks and the TikToks and the Instagram and all that kind of stuff.
In this point in time, much better.
Okay, but that could change at some point in the future, which is why I'm guessing measuring the campaigns and measuring your ROI and the different channels that you're on is so important then.
It's crucial. You always want to try different avenues because sometimes in different demographics, a different part of the country, a different ideal patient maybe the Facebook ads work better for you. But really, the idea is that sometimes you hit a really gold pocket there for the Facebook ads. But if you're not measuring and quantifying is it working or not, then you're probably just going to shut them off, right? So it's important to try different things, but ensuring that you're measuring to see what's working or not working.
Okay. So we kind of started, right? If we want to do ad spends, we want to look at doing some Google ads to drive traffic to our website. Do we want to drive them somewhere else? Like where do we want to send people once they click on that Google ad?
Absolutely. So it's determining, it's really going to be predicated upon what you're targeting for. So if I'm targeting for as a general patient, I would just want them on the home screen of my website, in which I'll show you how we take that traffic and convert it in a moment. But if we're going for something like a dental implant patient, I'd probably want them to go to the inner page or a landing page on my website that's beautifully crafted to convert somebody for a dental implant, right? I don't want them to have to search around the website to find our content on dental implants. I'd rather just get them right to that page that's built to convert them to a paying patient through our video.
Okay. And so then generating that traffic then is the best way to do that using Google Ads, or are there other ways to generate traffic, like you mentioned, like the search engine optimization? Are there other things we should be looking at or considering?
Most definitely. I would say if I was a dental office and I wanted to, put my budget towards what is most likely going to work the best, it would be search engine optimization, which is Google's organic rankings, which is your website's credit score. Outside of that, I would be doing Google ads. Now, outside of that, there is Facebook ads, there is Instagram, there is, TikTok, there is YouTube. There's these different avenues that you could. But I would say, your core focus at this point in time as a dentist should be in those two avenues.
Okay. And then, right, kind of coming back to that ideal patient also, how do we tie in generating traffic with actually attracting our ideal patients?
Most definitely. So with Google ads, we're essentially able to target a specific age range, a specific part of town, a specific circumference around our practice. There's a lot of different variables that we can incorporate in that campaign to ensure the person we want to see that campaign is getting that in front of their eyes. And then through the specific, ad text, the quality of ad you have out there that they're going to see, the quality of landing page they land on, that's going to attract that person who clicks into actually coming into the practice and give you the most likelihood of targeting a specific ideal patient, right? So what I mean by that is that if you're a higher end practice and you're looking for a higher ticket patient, doing a lot of ads based around free, right, is going to attract maybe more that I call them like the Groupon patient, right, who's coming in for just something free and doesn't come back. If we're doing campaigns oriented towards a higher ticket service, but giving a discount towards that service where it's not free, but there's still a discount, there's an incentive, that's going to attract more of that higher ticket patient, right? Because they understand the value of spending a bit more once they see the quality of the campaign, the quality of the landing page, and the videos we produce.
Okay. And so, right, we talked a little bit about even video, right? Is video a good tool for conversion these days?
Video is the best tool for conversion, 100%. So, I mean, there's endless reasons why I'm a huge advocate of video. Video in production of video and photo is Lasso's best tool for our clients. That's kind of like what we're known for in the industry. And we do, the best job at it. And really the power of video is it comes in many forms. So when we do video, and if I could share my screen, I could actually.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to have that happen.
Perfect.
All right, it is up.
All right, perfect. And so when we land on a website, we do 4 different kinds of video, right? So the first kind of video is what we call a banner video. So you can see here, as soon as I hit that website, we have a rolling video, high HD quality production. That's about a 15-second clip out of what we come out and shoot for that practice, right? And this is something I land on this. It makes sure I'm showing the quality of the practice. It's modernized and it's grabbing my attention to hit these different conversion tools as far as scheduling an appointment or calling. Now, from there, I want to introduce.
And that first video, right? It's kind of the banner, and I'm doing this for the benefit of people who are listening and not watching, but. Right. Really, we're seeing pictures of the practice. We're seeing pictures of the patients. We're seeing, pictures of the doctor in there, right? Really showing off what the space, what the practice looks like. We're not showing videos of doing implant surgery here, are we?
Correct. So being that this is the homepage. We want it to be very welcoming. I want, essentially the dentist is a scary place for a lot of people. So I want to show the warmthness of that practice, of the dentist, and essentially make them feel like it's a much more welcoming experience, right?
Excellent. Okay. So that's that first video. And what'd you call it? The banner image or?
Call that a banner background video.
Okay, excellent. And then, so that's really the first starting point, is show off the practice.
Exactly. Show off the practice, a quick 15 seconds, and then we get them to scroll some more. And then we're going to get into what we call the, the office tour or the about us, right? So a quick commercial essentially highlighting the actual office itself, which I'll play this quickly for us. And it has some audio for those listening too.
Welcome to the Minnesota Center for Minimally Invasive Dentistry, your home for biological dental care. With a unique, holistic approach to dentistry, Dr. Mark and Dr. Rachel are the highly skilled family team to help you achieve whole oral wellness and a smile you'll be proud to share. Known around the Twin Cities for being a caring and comprehensive dentist, we provide care from general dentistry to intricate cosmetic work, all while taking your whole body wellness into account. Discover your healthy smile today at the Minnesota Center for Minimally Invasive Dentistry.
All right, that was short and sweet. That wasn't a 3 or 4 minute production, was it?
Yeah, that was a quick intro to the practice, but something enough where you're showing, it's a nice clean office. You're showing that patients are smiling, the staff is smiling. You're introducing where the practice is located, but you're really getting, essentially that introduction to your practice where I feel like I've met you. I feel more welcome by your practice. I'm more likely to pick up the phone and call, right?
New worded it.
I'm getting every other word.
Zach, full connect.
I can't hear anything you're saying. It's going in and out. I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear me now? Hello?
Live show. All right, let's give this another go.
Okay, I can hear you now.
All right. Switched real quick to the backup mic. So that's what happens when you do a live show. Sometimes things go sideways.
That's right.
But we're back. Awesome. All right. No, I was just mentioning, I noticed over to the right-hand side, you've got something that says complimentary new patient certificate. You're not advertising a free exam, are you?
No. So that is not something we do, right?
Yeah, and so I think that's fascinating on the language that you're using. So walk us through now the third kind of video that you put up on a site. Yeah, absolutely. So the third, I like to call them service explainer videos. So like, let's say I'm coming to you for a dental implant. Likelihood is I've just heard I need one, and I don't really know a ton about dental implants. So we want this to be an ability in which, we're getting the patient educated on it. We're letting them know the experience the doctor has, that, hey, you came to the right doctor's website and he's very, very well credentialed to do the best implant possible. And he's going to make it, as painless as possible. So and really what it comes down to is that when someone hits a landing page on a specific service, they're 80% more likely to click on a video and watch that video than to read your text. So this is the best way to increase the conversion rate. Because one, obviously the value video, but two, they're more likely to actually consume this content. So this would be one on dental implants.
In our office, we've been using dental implants for, believe it or not, since 1987. So we have a lot of years of experience going into placing implants. And I've seen a huge transition between the types of materials and the designs of the implant systems out there. And we've settled on a really nice implant system that allows us to get very predictable results for our patients. And consequently, we get long-lasting implants. You know,
So without going too deep into the video, it's about 1.5 minutes there, but I'm sure you understand the value of that, having the doctor attest that he's the right guy to come to and explaining, his experience and credentials and the way that his practice does it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is really how you do leverage video to make your website a much stronger tool for conversion, is by, right, once again, focusing on the practice, focusing on the human element. Who's the doctor? What are they doing? And having simple and easy to understand procedure videos.
100%, right? So as far as the service, the procedure video, that's how we carry that out. Now, what we want to do is not just have the dentist explain, what a great job he does, but we want to back that up with social proof, right? So the way we do that is going to be through testimonial videos. So what I'll go into now would be a testimonial video on dental implants.
Dr. Mark even was disappointed that he had to pull the tooth, but I do have acid reflux, and the acid seeped into my root and actually destroyed the tooth. So he had to take the whole tooth. My name is Midge Mosman, and I'm currently receiving a dental implant from Dr. Mark. He's explained everything, and my husband has had implants put in, so I'm pretty familiar with implants. But it's going very well. In fact, I was in here yesterday to have the stitches removed, and he said that I'm healing beautifully. So that made me very comfortable. It is a big treatment, but I'm so comfortable with Dr. Mark that I trust anything that he's going to do.
Wow, powerful.
Exactly. So really powerful stuff, right? So the idea there is that, you can have a ton of Google reviews, Facebook reviews, Yelp reviews, but oftentimes, nothing's going to give the same impact as somebody on camera explaining what a great experience that doctor provided for them, right?
Yeah. Now, right, I know when I start seeing videos, especially with the doctor and the staff and putting all those things up, right, I know if I'm a doctor, I'm thinking, man, that's going to take a lot of work. What do I say? How do I put the script together? How do I showcase these things? Like, is that something you help with? Is that something they have to come up with? Like, how do you come up with that messaging?
Yeah, great question. So we have fine-tuned our process for this to the perfect level. So I've had a ton of dentists say to me, hey, Steven, I had a production crew came out. They didn't prepare me at all. I felt like everything was on the spot, and really it came out to be a poor quality video, whatever it may be, right? So the idea with us is that, one, we're at the practice for just one day. Within that one day, the content we capture in video is going to be the banner background that we spoke about. It's going to be the office tour video. We do 4 different service explainer videos. So if they wanted to do a video on implants, a video on crowns, a video on veneers, and let's say maybe a video on sleep apnea, we could do that as well. So 4 services, and then we do 4 separate patient testimonials. So they get a lot of different content. Now, with that being said, we're only there for one day. So within that one day, we have an agenda set of exactly what needs to happen at what time. With that, we help them with all the scripting, all the staging. We're the ones interviewing the patients. So in that video, as you can see that patient giving that feedback, we're essentially queuing that patient up with questions and letting them answer, and then clipping that interview together to make it look like it's an amazingly profound and impactful review of their practice, right? So we take care of all of that, which is awesome. And we make sure that practice is well prepared. We do a meeting before we fly out to let them know A to Z what needs to happen. And a bonus with that is that we capture enough content that one day that we can also do a full social media campaign and management from that media we captured. So with that, we then are able to do 2 posts per week on Facebook and Instagram, completely custom for that practice, from the filming we did from the photo and video for the YouTube channel and the website, those different avenues.
Okay, that's amazing. And so, right, when you start putting this together, what are the results that doctors actually start seeing when they are doing marketing correctly, when they are investing in the video and in the practice and attracting their really ideal patient? What starts happening to the practice?
A lot, right? So one, the conversion rate is going to skyrocket. So meaning that if they're tracking how many clicks are getting to their website, which anyone can do pretty easily, they're going to see a lot more of those clicks are going to turn into phone calls. They're going to turn into request appointments. They're going to turn into appointments scheduled, people showing up, and then a higher level of production per patient now because they're able to attract more of their ideal service as well. So all of those different avenues get hit. And then with that, a really great bonus of having a video on their website, which I've had multiple of my clients tell me this, is that they're getting a better conversion rate with their staffing. So more of the people who, obviously staffing is a crisis in dentistry right now, but more of the people who are interested in working for them now are more likely to actually follow through with it because they're able to see the quality of practice. It's a fun practice. Everyone's smiling. People are having fun there. There's a good culture, right?
Yeah. Well, and the other thing, and I'll just throw this in there because I know this has happened to me all the time. And if you're listening, you may have experienced this also, especially with video. But maybe you've got a favorite show that you watch on YouTube or, a favorite interview program or whatever it may be. But I find over time, right, I become very familiar with these people and almost feel as if I know them, even though I've never met them in my entire life. So much so that, I've been at conferences where, all of a sudden a speaker walks up and I'm like, oh yeah, I know that person. I'm like, wait, they've never met me in their entire life, but I've watched all their videos. So it creates that familiarity and comfort, doesn't it?
Absolutely does. And that's a fantastic point.
Yeah. And right. And that adds to, I would argue, a better patient experience because if they're familiar with you, if they know you, even though you've never met them, they have a sense of what that office culture is like and what you're like as a doctor in there. So right, when it comes to the practice and the budgeting and investing, what do you see the best practices out there doing when it comes to actually spending on marketing? Are they allocating a fixed dollar amount? Are they doing some kind of percentage? Like how do you start thinking about how much should I be investing in this?
Yeah, it's a great question. And really what it breaks down to, for our specific services, we have it all broken down into plans, right? With that, as far as your marketing, now those are for marketing packages and the website and for things like SEO, those are all a fixed rate. Now, as far as your ad campaigns, now that's something that should fluctuate, right? Because the idea is that maybe you don't want to start with a $5,000 Google ad spend, right? Maybe you don't have the budget to put that up front. So starting with a smaller budget with different campaigns and measuring which ones are successful or not is definitely a better strategy, right? Because you're not just, throwing spaghetti at the wall and hoping it sticks. You're specifically measuring the different campaigns and seeing what's the front runner and then putting more of the funds from these different campaigns into the specific campaign that we see the most success.
Gotcha. Okay. And so really, right, it kind of starts with those fixed costs, right? Getting the assets up, so to speak, getting your website done, getting your social media presence, right? Getting all those things dialed in. Right. And that's going to be kind of a fixed cost. And then from there, you want to figure out, well, hey, how much do I want to spend on I guess a monthly basis to really be pushing that out to attract the traffic to the website?
Exactly. Correct.
Okay. Gotcha. So we've been talking a lot about, right, what do you do to be successful with your web presence? How do you attract those ideal patients? What are some common mistakes that you see doctors making when they attempt to do this?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot. So I mean, in terms of video, I would say just producing very low quality videos. That as you saw the quality of video we produce, I mean, that's something where it really, elicits an emotional response from somebody. They're pretty blown away and they see that quality. Oftentimes when they try to do it themselves, maybe it's like poor lighting, poor sound, specifically just poorly filmed, right? So that would be an avenue within that. In regards to maybe using a company itself, I would say this industry, a lot of different practices have been burned, right? So it's really the digital marketing agency is saturated by companies saying they're doing one thing, they're not actually doing it, right? So I would say hiring a company that obviously up front looks great, but ensure that you have an account manager who's showing you everything that's happening every month is very important. Two, ensuring that all the different tracking methods are in place so you know exactly where your dollars are being spent. And then three, just ensuring that you're finding a quality company to have an all-out campaign, measure it, then show you what they're doing every month, or definitely all avenues that need to be explored with a company, and that a lot of people aren't doing. A lot of people are just spending, $500 a month with the company. They're never checking in with each other. They don't know what's actually happening. Oftentimes, that company is really not doing anything behind the scenes.
Okay. And I think that's an important point too, is right. So many doctors, especially if you've been in business for, more than just a few years, right? You've probably worked with some companies that actually haven't delivered. They look great up front. You hire them, you start working with them, and all of a sudden you find out they're just not delivering. How do you avoid making that same mistake again, right? How do you do the vetting up front so that you actually know you're working with a quality company? Because advertising is tricky. There's no guarantees, but there certainly are best practices you want to follow. So how do we think about that vetting process?
Definitely. I think a great initial question is, do I have an account manager, and how often does that account manager check in with me, and what does that check-in call consist of, right? So for us, for Lasso, you do have your own account manager, your own person that essentially you could call, email, text about whatever immediate needs you have. Then that person's checking with you every month to show you, hey, what's happened? This campaign's working. This one's not. We generated this many patients. Hey, this much production stemmed from this campaign this month. All those things are being presented to you, right? Those are very critical. Outside of that would be getting a company to show you upfront what they're going to do over like a calendar year. So what I do for each client is that I'm able to show them, this is the marketing plan for the next year. Right? So this is what I'm doing for your SEO for the next year. And this is happening every month. So I'm not just setting up a website and kicking my feet up and you don't hear from me again and nothing's happening every month. You know exactly what's happening.
Okay. And should these account managers, should they be reaching out proactively? Do I have to reach out to them? Like what are the best companies doing?
Yeah, proactively. I mean, obviously, if I'm waiting for a dentist to call me to check in on something like a back burner item, like a website, it rarely happens. So we actively reach out to them every month and get them on the calendar and ensure at the end of that meeting, we get them on the next calendar and get on their books, right?
Okay. No, that's very, very helpful. So, hey, we've been having such a great conversation so far, talking about, right, the power of video, how to attract your ideal patient, how to avoid working with marketing companies that just spin the wheels and actually waste your money. We've talked about tracking. So for people who are listening, where would you tell them to dive in? How do they start just even reanalyzing their marketing to figure out if something needs to change or if there's room for improvement? Like what's the starting point for that?
Great question. So I would be the starting point. So essentially what I'm more than happy to do and what I typically do is we do complimentary demos. We'll actually pay anyone listening to this specific podcast. We'll pay them $25 just to listen to one of our demos. We'll send them a $25 gift card. But what I will personally do is I'll do research on your current web presence. I have different tools that analyze different facets of your web presence to see are these working or not, and this is how we can improve upon them. We'll determine, what specific services of ours you think would be a good fit for your practice. I'll tell you what I think would be a great fit with the amount of experience I have. Then we'll get you a quote and see if it's a good fit for us to work together. But it's that simple. And that can be done by, you can email me directly, which is going to be my first name, Steven @lassomd.com, or visit our website, lassomd.com. There should be an ability to schedule a demo from there as well.
All right. Yeah. And both your email address and website are in the comments right down below for anyone listening to this. And so what I hear you saying is you'll take a look at the website, you'll take a look at the marketing, and you'll actually pay us to do that.
Correct. I will. And then at the very least, if we're not the perfect fit for you, you're going to have some ammunition to come back to your web developer if they're not doing a great job and say, hey, why is XYZ not happening?
Yeah. Well, and this is so important. And I would encourage all our listeners, right? Take advantage of this. I talk about this all the time, right? It's the power of a second opinion. And it's crazy, right? When it comes to medical issues, you and I, we don't hesitate to go get a second opinion from a doctor when we're facing something serious going on. But when it comes to our financial future, when it comes to your practice marketing, when it comes to, just other things that really matter, we hardly ever get a second opinion. And that's crazy because these are things that we're spending on all the time. And so, the worst case scenario that happens is you get the second opinion and you hear everything's great. And I don't know about you, but I've never gotten upset at my doctor when I go in for an annual review and he calls me back and says, Tim, all your blood works fine and everything looks great. I'll see you again later on. Like I've never been mad at that. I'm like, cool, everything's working, right? That's a great thing to confirm you're on track, even if it's not with the company you're getting the second opinion with. So I encourage you, get a second opinion, take a second look at these things, because the worst that's going to happen is you're going to hear you're on track.
Agreed, 100%.
Yeah. And so, Steven, before we sign off here, any kind of closing thoughts or things? And then real quickly, I want to dive in and I want to talk about a little kombucha, because that sounds like a fun little thing about you.
Definitely. So sign off is really, I know dentists are extremely busy and, oftentimes we get caught in the day-to-day, but I'd say really in reinvest in your practice. If you're not doing any marketing, try to give a marketing campaign a shot. If you are spending a lot on marketing, ensure it's working, but, definitely talk to us. Let us give you some direction, and we'd love to be an asset to the practice.
Excellent. And so we'll come back to marketing here in just a moment, but kombucha, what can you tell me about Hard Kombucha?
Yeah. So we, part owner of our Hard Kombucha Company here in San Diego. It's called Hard Kombucha. But yeah, we have a tasting room, a brewery, and we just got everything set up. And essentially we have ready to go in a bunch of different bars in town and local grocery stores and liquor stores. We're already signed on a ton of accounts. So definitely really exciting stuff.
Oh my, how did that all come about?
Just a group of friends. One of my really good friends who works for another company in this industry actually is the COO. And essentially he told me about this great opportunity, and the main man behind the scenes here has been doing it for over 5 years, and it's just started as a passion out of his house, and he's really fine-tuned everything. And now we have, a full brewery that we're creating all this and distribution, and all from whole fruits and organic. And it's really a tremendous thing. It's all local fruit here in San Diego.
Oh, how beautiful, how wonderful. And I'm going to tie this back into marketing too, because we're talking about, right, best practices, get ideal patients. And I'm guessing you guys have ideal kind of customers that you're looking for too. And are you implementing some of these same strategies to market that company?
Yeah, so definitely we're getting pretty big here on creating all the content and optimizing that content, and then specifically, creating a lot of different video content, fun things like that. But for us, a lot of, boots to the ground here, and leveraging the people that we know in town that, own bars or are bar managers, or specifically friends who own different stores who could utilize what we have, and going there in person and introducing ourselves. And, it's all local, right? So it's a bit easier for us to hit those things on the foot.
Yeah. But I would argue even locally, right? You go in, you see that local bar owner, or you talk to that local store to get them to carry your product. Chances are they're going to go check you out on the web, because they want to know, like, who are you? What do you offer? What does this look like? And my guess is they're going to find some great looking video.
Correct. Yep. So that is definitely true. And we're continuously producing content for it and ensuring that, it looks cutting edge, looks hip, it looks fun. It's something I want to carry in my store. Yep.
Yeah. All right. And then one last little thought that came up is, when it comes to kind of doing the video, one thing I see all the time is I see doctors posting pictures of their surgeries that they're doing online. Is that a good strategy to attract patients?
I mean, I would argue no. I mean, if you're just if you're just in academia and that's your whole, sector you focus on, then, that's fine. But if you're in a private practice trying to attract patients, you're going to scare patients. So you want to make them feel as though it's going to be, as pain-free as possible. And when I see somebody's, mouth getting, drilled on, that's maybe not the most, doesn't resonate as something very comfortable with me.
Yeah, right. When you're running a private practice and all of a sudden the first thing on the video is warning graphic content, that may not be the best way to attract patients, huh?
Oh, absolutely. And I used to do a lot of plastic surgery practices, and I've never seen more disturbing videos than some of the ones they have on their website. So
yeah. Well, hey, Steven, thank you for sharing so generously with us. And I know I certainly have a much better understanding of really how to leverage the online presence to attract ideal patients. Certainly have some best practices in terms of creating video and generating more traffic and really generating those ideal patients. And I feel more empowered than ever to really put my trust in not just digital marketing, but actually putting myself out there and putting the practice out there and really sharing that in a compelling way. And so thank you once again for being a great guest and sharing so much. Once again, tell us how we can find you and take advantage of that offer of kind of overviewing our marketing and looking at it again.
Yeah, again, so incentives we have laid out, $25 gift card just for listening to me during a demo. Another thing we're going to do is our initial investment of $3,000. We're going to completely waive that for coming from us from the Dental Wealth Nation. With that, the demo to set that up, shoot me an email at Steven, STEVEN @lassomd.com, or we have a booking link on lassomd.com as well, in which you could book that complimentary demo.
Excellent. Well, hey, thank you again. And thank you all listeners for tuning in. And remember, don't just listen to this. If you just listen to the last 40 minutes and you go back to your practice and you don't do a single thing, you've wasted your time. And this is a waste for you. But this is not why we do it. We do it because we want you to take action. We want you to build that amazing life of significance so you can take even better care of the people you love, support the causes you care about, and really make that meaningful impact in the world. So get out there and make it a great day. And until next time, we'll see you again here soon on the Dental Wealth Nation show. Thanks, Steven.
Bye.
You've been listening to Dental Wealth Nation. We hope you've gotten some useful and practical information from the show. Join us next time as we pull back the curtain to reveal the often hidden advice and strategies used by today's most successful individuals and families, and help maximize your net worth so you can take even better care of the people you love. Till next time, make sure to hit the website at dentalwealthnation.com.